Hi, welcome everybody to the Reentry Faith Initiative YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'd like to answer the question, how can I start a reentry ministry? So I've broken it down to 4 steps, but in each step we could talk about a lot of things in each one of those, but I did want to give a brief overview. So the very first step is just simply to pray. Very first step is to pray and be led into this type of work, because there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be moments of a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of momentum. And there's going to be times when everything just kind of stands still. So you have to be committed to the work. You have to be committed to being involved. So that's why I always recommend to start by praying and being led of God, and just knowing that this is the work that God wants you to focus on, because there's going to be moments where you get discouraged. So, but if you're committed to it, if you know that this is where God wants you, then you'll be able to overcome those moments of discouragement. So that's why I wanted to start there. And the second step is to start a reentry ministry. Start inside. Start within your congregation, within your faith group. Ask, is there anyone in our church or in our congregation or our fellowship that has just gotten out from jail or prison? You could do that on a Sunday morning or a midweek Bible study, or just however you run so your services or your fellowship. You could just ask the fellowship in general when you guys gather. And just see, by a show of hands, if anybody's recently been incarcerated. Or you could also ask if anybody in the church or congregation has a family member that's incarcerated currently. That way you can identify what people really do need the help. So it's always good to start inside before you actually step outside, because that's going to give you a lot of immediate things you can start doing and implementing within your own fellowship. So in the other video, I was talking about changing the culture within your church or within your congregation, and this is part of it. So when you're able to identify people in your own church and your own congregation that are impacted by incarceration, the atmosphere in your fellowship is automatically going to start changing, because so you're going to be attending to those needs. So the very third step is being able to identify the needs and also finding resources or finding solutions. So after you've identified the people, after you've identified in your own home base or home as a fellowship, what people are impacted by incarceration, the next step is to find what resources are available for those people. Maybe they're in need of counseling, but you don't provide counseling. Maybe they're in need of mental health services. And there's a lot of stigma or a lot of, different convictions about how, as a faith group or as a faith leader, I should handle mental health. But I'm going to leave that up to the individual faith leader and faith group on how to handle that. But, just recognize that it does play a part in the whole recovery and the whole array of things that are happening within an individual. A lot of times mental health is playing a role. Sometimes addiction is playing a role. Sometimes just, real deep rooted emotional trauma is causing a lot of issues. And so, just finding what resources are available and just knowing how to tap into those resources. Maybe the person just needs a job. I hear that all the time. I just don't really need all of that. Or I just don't need a lot. I just need a job. So even as a faith leader, as a faith group, and you're identifying that that's a big need, is, do you know where to send people to go work on a resume? Are you a place, or do you have computers set up, where people can work on their resumes? So there's different things that you can identify in your individual community, in your individual place, that are going to help you and lead you and guide you into what to focus on. but they should also lead you to the resources. So find solutions and find other groups that are already helping out in this area, in whatever area that you're identifying that there's a need. And also get to know people that are impacted by incarceration. Get to know people, ask questions, go to places where you're going to find people that are incarcerated or formerly incarcerated. Go to PAC meetings. Those are parole resource meetings. Go to go to the park. I don't know. Just find a place where you can talk to somebody who's impacted by incarceration and ask what it is they need. That way you can start becoming aware of what kind of things are necessary to implement besides the spiritual aspect. Because a lot of the reentry ministry is, like I mentioned in another video, is real resource heavy. You have to be able to attend to the immediate needs of people, but also provide that spiritual support. So the fourth step that I wanted to talk about is hand in hand with finding resources and hand in hand with getting to know people. The fourth thing, and really it's one of the main things, is building relationships. You have to know how to build relationships with other groups, other agencies. And first of all, you have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to work with others and understand that outside of your four walls or outside of your immediate circle, there's things that are happening on a greater scale. So once you start realizing what agencies are out there, what other groups are already doing work, maybe there's already reentry ministries in your neighborhood. There's already other churches that are involved in reentry. It's about connecting to them and building relationships with them. Maybe they're doing something, but they're lacking something. Maybe you can fill a gap. And so we all have different gifts, different strengths, and we all could bring something valuable to the table. So it's about building relationships and working with others, and also commit to them, commit to the group, commit to each other, right? So you commit to meet with each other and build a dialogue and build a relationship, and there's also a trust building factor to this. So I don't want to go too much into how to build relationships, because I'm assuming that you already know how to do that. But if you'd like, more, in-depth talks about each one of these areas or each one of these steps, let me know, leave me a comment, call me, email me, and I'll be willing to, just encourage you, or just, talk about these steps, how to start a reentry ministry. So once again, 4 steps. First of all, pray. Second, start inside. 3, identify the needs and identify resources. And 4, build relationships. These are the 4 main things that you have to do in order to start a reentry ministry. And if you're thinking about it, I want to encourage you, get involved. There's a lot of opportunity for the faith community to be a big blessing in this area. And also, I want to end with this note. While we're doing all this tangible resource for the people that are in need, let's not forget the main reason why we're getting involved in the work. Let's not forget the end goal is to really help this individual grow spiritually and get rooted in their faith. So that's the reason why we're involved in any of this, is because we want to see people grow. So at the end of the day, let's stay focused and let's keep moving forward. And again, I'm your brother Hector. Anything you need, anything I can help you with, independent of where you are. I'm in Northern California, but if you're in Southern California, for example, or out of state, you can still reach out to me, and then that way we could talk. Okay. I love meeting people. So go ahead and leave me a comment. Go ahead and share this video. So go ahead and just subscribe, like, all that good stuff. All right. So God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.